the past 2 years, I've been cycling to every large town, village and city near me in order of mostly ascending distance and rating them. We've rated 47 towns, spanning 5 counties, and travelled a total mileage of over 4,000 miles. And today we will finally finish this series by reaching my end goal of Flamborough. Come on, let's do this! Just let it sink in for a moment, what we've done to get here. All the places I visited, all the times the wind got me, that time I fell off on the way to Bridlington, all those cafes, roads, fields, all those mountains, everything. It's finally here. We're finally here! Flamborough. It's a Tier 4 coastal village just down the road from Bridlington, and it's York Review's final destination. Including editing time, I've spent the past 6 years of my life obsessing over this area. But don't expect any special treatment. This is York Review after all, the best cycle-based Yorkshire review show ever uploaded to YouTube. I live by a simple motto. When you're by the sea, get the fish. Currently sitting in the Seabirds restaurant and bar, and it is gorgeous in here. The village of Flamborough has several points of interest, from its many local services, like toilets, to its war memorial, which isn't even on TripAdvisor. Behind me lie the ruins of Flamborough Castle. While it doesn't look like much today, it was a big estate when it was built in the mid-1400s, surrounded by a manor house as well. The castle here lasted for about 200 years, but fell into disrepair when the owner took a stand against Henry VIII's closure of the monasteries. He was found for treason, hanged in Beverley, and then the castle sort of started to wither away. We tried to keep it up and running, but you can see not much is left today. With all my manufactured hype, it's easy to forget that this is an actual village where people live. For them, Flamborough is everyday, normal. What would the people who live in these houses think if they stumbled across York Review? They'd think I was insane. Maybe I am. The centre of Flamborough is small, but it's really quite nice. They have a cute little castle, they have loads of seafood restaurants, but no one really comes to Flamborough to see the village centre, not when they have loads of stuff on their doorstep. So let's have a little exploration of the perimeter of Flamborough. The perimeter of Flamborough! So what we have behind me now are the Flamborough Cliffs, as seen from the South Landing. The Flamborough Cliffs are the greatest tourist attraction to these areas because they are just so beautiful. It's a heritage coastline. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I made Flamborough my end goal, because when you look at it on Google Maps, you can see a few green splotches in Yorkshire. You have the dales, you have the moors, and you have a tiny bit of greenery just jutting out of the coast. And that's here, that's Flamborough. And honestly, I'm already impressed, and there's still a lot more to see. The South Landing is one of a few spots where the cliffs can be viewed. There's also a scenic spot immediately east of the village. Old lighthouse, new lighthouse. Actually, I don't think that's a lighthouse. The Chalk Tower of Flamborough Head is a very old lighthouse dating back to the 1600s. It's a very impressive landmark that can be spotted from the sea and was used to help guide ships back in the olden days. Nowadays, it's just a really cool ornament that's next to a golf course. Of course, the old lighthouse was soon forgotten when they constructed a new lighthouse. You can see the thing rotating. According to an 1885 article in Chambers' journal, Flamborough's lighthouse originally flashed a colour sequence to stand out from its neighbours.
Arr, 2 whites to 1 red indicates Flamborough Head. Too bad I'm colourblind.
If you ever find a use for that arcane piece of lighthouse trivia, please do let me know in the comments. You know, it's funny, and I have been trying to force this, but a year ago today, I was filming the Leeds episode, and 2 years ago today, I was filming the York episode, the first episode, which means that this whole thing took me 2 years to the day. I didn't make that deliberate, that's just how it's happened. It's crazy. The second birthday of York Review. What a fitting place to spend it. Having finished my mandatory seaside ice cream, I set forth towards the last beauty spot of York Review. Now, don't let me give you the wrong impression here. Flamborough is huge. I'm completely reliant on my bike to take you from beauty spot to beauty spot. I mean, you could walk between all the areas I showed you in one day, but it would take up most of the day to do it. And because I have 100 miles of cycling to do today, walking isn't really an option for me. And finally, we find ourselves here on the north landing of Flamborough. These landings are where the old fishermen come down to have their boats to go off fishing, because Flamborough has always been a fishing town. I'll take it from here, Windy McGee. There's an old story that's told about Flamborough fishermen. They all wanted to be the first ones out to catch the best fish, so they were really quiet when they snuck out the village in the morning. But they also used donkeys to move stuff around, so to keep them quiet, they would put socks on them to pad the sound from their hooves. There's so much history here in Flamborough. There's the castle, there's the church, there's the lighthouse, there's the fishing industry. There's just so much going on. And there's the walk as well. Really good place. You know, we've come a long way on this show looking for Flamborough, but in a way, the real Flamborough was the friends we made along the way. No, seriously. It took 2 years to make that joke. It took 2 years to make that joke. I hope it landed. You know, this beach is really stunning. Shall we talk about death? Specifically, I want to talk about the legend of Jenny Gallows, who is a former resident of Flamborough. As the legend goes, Jenny committed suicide by jumping into a chalk pit. And it's said that if you were to run around this chalk pit 8 times, then you will summon her restless spirit and she might even chase you. If you do a 9th lap around it, you'll be able to hear the fairies at the bottom. In an 1890 text, Folklore of East Yorkshire, people were too scared to do the 8 laps. Jenny would call out, "I'll tee on me bonnet and put on me shoe, and if thou's not off, I'll soon catch thou." Until one day, when a brave farmer completed the laps on a horse, Jenny burst out and chased him all the way back to Flamborough. She bit a piece off the horse, but she refused to pass the boundary into the village. A lot of ghosts seem to have difficulties getting into Flamborough these days. The one thing the legend doesn't say is where this chalk pit is. And to make the story even harder to believe, I'm going to jump off something in a place surrounded by cliffs. Might be a better option. However, new research in October 2025 has now blown this case wide open. The Lay of the Land folklore blog has performed an investigation into likely sites for Jenny and have uncovered a few candidates: a Fielding Castle pond and a small lake near the lighthouse. Perhaps the most interesting, though, was a marking on a map from 1854 describing Gallows Hole, a few decades before the tale of Jenny Gallows was first recorded in print. It's not really a chalk pit, and I don't know how you'd run round it, but I'm pleased to see I'm not the only man meticulously fascinated with the folklore of Flamborough. So, unfortunately, the legend of Jenny Gallows appears to be just a legend. But it's a fun story, and for some reason it's on the Wikipedia page of Flamborough. I don't think the tale of Jenny Gallows holds up for more than one reason. Guys, it's a cave. Finally! You know, it only took until episode 48, but I'm finally going to do a spot of caving in a York Review episode. Makes me feel justified for bringing my miner's helmet. Let's see what's going on in here then. Well then, let's just say I was expecting something a little bigger. It ends right there. Flamborough. There's just so much going on here. You have a castle, cliffs, lighthouses, a seafront, beaches, everything. Everything seems to be here. It is without a doubt the seaside village with the greatest variety. I've really enjoyed it here. And there is so much to do here. You could spend an entire day here and it would be fantastic. The only thing holding back Flamborough for me is the fact that there isn't really, it's not quite to the same standard in the town centre as the other top scorers. If there are a few more parks, I think I'd be a bit more generous. But, having said that, Flamborough is still an amazing place. And so, for my final York review, I'm going to give it a Yorkshire out of Yorkshire. And in a rare double rating, you'll notice that I've never actually given anywhere a Y out of Yorkshire, which in one way is a good thing. It means that no town I've visited is irredeemable. There's always been something to enjoy. But it does mean that I have an empty bracket in my scoring system, which isn't ideal. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my biggest, clunkiest bracket and I'm going to split it in two. The Yorkshire bracket stands out as being particularly bloated. I've let too many places into the top row, but no more! Helmsley, Yorkshire. Pickering, Yorkshire. Ripon, Yorkshire. Beverley, Yorkshire. Pateley Bridge, Yorkshire. Hull, Yorkshire. Hunmanby, Yorkshire. Hornsey, Yorkshire. Goathland, Yorkshire. And Bradford, Yorkshire. Behold, the York Review! And there we have it, the finalised York Review scoreboard. It has been so much fun making this series. It's been the thing that's got me back into cycling, long distances that I never even thought were possible. I'm sure wherever you go, if you look close enough, you'll always find something to enjoy. And now with that, I have to go see a man about a book. It sure is beautiful up here.
It sure is.
That were quite the review you just gave.
You saw my review?
I've been watching them all. I'm glad you're not wearing that Morris dancing suit for this one.
Hey, I like that suit. It's a really emotional moment for me. I've completed York Review.
So, what do you think you'll do now? Is there a Warwickshire review coming up?
I don't think I'm ready to commit to another series like this just yet. This has been a huge series.
Well, Yorkshire is a big place. I know how difficult this all is. More than most.
Speaking of which, I think this belongs to you.
It's been so long.
So, what do you think about Flamborough?
I have waited over 100 years to see Flamborough, and it were worth every day.
Flamborough is the ideal destination to end my travels. The town and landscape round here are simply breathtaking, and yet I am not surprised. All the beauty spots I have recorded in this journal are just glimpses into the greater majesty that is Yorkshire. From the smallest village to the greatest city, and all the mountains, rivers and farms in between, Yorkshire is a magnificent collection of counties. Truly, there can be no better place to spend eternity.
Whew, that was brilliant. And now my business here is complete. Thanks to you, lad. Thank you for everything. There's really no need to thank me.
Give over. Here. Have a bit of Yorkshire for the road. I reckon it'll suit you.
Thanks.
Goodbye, lad. My journey is at an end.
Goodbye, Yorkshireman.